Brother lads, welcome back to Cossy Podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is my starting 11. Arsenal versus Manchester City. Competitive football is back. The FA Community Shield between Arsenal and Manchester City is upon us. It is just hours away. And I tell you what, guys, I'm scared. I'm purely scared. Now, I've seen all the debates on Twitter. Is Arsenal really better than Manchester City? Have we closed the gap? Is the quality now there? I tell you what, Manchester City are still the better side in the Premier League. But I think we have massively improved. We've massively added some good quality. The only question is, has Mikel Arteta found the right recipe? Have we found the right recipe to beat Manchester City, to overcome their press, to overcome their attack, to deal with Erling Haaland, to deal with Kevin De Bruyne? And can we eventually go all the way 38 games and be crowned champions? Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well, because we're going to be discussing the different players to play against Manchester City, the formation, and why I think some players are not fit for this game. Like, they're typically not made for this game, to be honest. Let's get this video to 500 likes. Which starting 11 would you love to see against Pep Guardiola's Manchester City? Because they've just signed Joska Gvardiol, and that makes them super better. Right, in goal, I don't think we have so many options. David Raya has not yet signed, so Aaron Ramsdale is going to be very key. And Ramsdale actually is going to be as key as he was in the last two games when we played Manchester City. When we played City last season, Aaron Ramsdale committed three mistakes that led to goals. In the second leg, where we conceded 4, he should have saved the Kevin De Bruyne goal, the first one, and he should have also saved the Erling Haaland goal, the fourth one. So that clearly shows you that there is a problem with Aaron Ramsdale, especially when it comes to big games, especially when it comes to pressure points. He declines, his performances actually go down, and that is not what you need in your goalkeeper. Now, Ramsdale is a good goalkeeper. We've seen him make some spectacular saves against Maddison, against Salah, against Manchester United. But the overall performance in his overall performances in big games, in pressure points, in pressure matches, has got to go up. We've talked about this with Saka and Odegaard, and we've said if there is one player or two players you can trust in big games, in times of pressure, it is Odegaard, it is Saka. Ramsdale must be on that list because Ramsdale is really talented. He's very good as a goalkeeper, and I think he's very passionate about the game. For me, all he's got to do is to increase his performances in these big games. I don't know whether he catches cold feet a little bit. Yes, he's still pretty much young for a goalkeeper, but I think it was the season before last season when Jota actually placed the ball near post there, and it went to the back of the net. And Ramsdale knew he should have done better than that. Just like he knew he should have done better with Kevin De Bruyne's chances last campaign and Erling Haaland's chances last campaign as well. So Ramsdale in goal, he's going to be very key, distribution-wise, but also putting the ball away from the back of the net. Because Manchester City create chances. Manchester City score goals. Manchester City are that good. You're either, on your good day, you're either, able to match them, or they actually blow you away. It is as simple as that. Now, I think we should be playing a back 4. I don't think Mikel Arteta should be changing our system anywhere near. I'm going to drop Gabriel Magalhaes. And I'm going to suggest William Saliba to play on the left-hand side of this defense to partner with Julian Timber. Tactic-wise, we've done these videos about how Timber inverts from that centre-back role into midfield, and then the right-back would be Ben White, literally covers for Julian Timber. How this actually goes about. So I think that is the centre-back pairing that we should be going for in this game for 2 reasons. Only 2 reasons. You cannot have Ramsdale's mistakes with Gabriel's mistakes. You've got to drop one of them. So if we had signed David Raya, I would definitely say drop Ramsdale, play Raya, and play Gabriel. Because Gabriel is very, very key to the way we play, by the way. If you have not noticed, he's a very, very central point and central guy in the way we play. But the advantages of having a player like William Saliba, and with Mikel Arteta going, I don't want my centre-backs to be dribbling a lot. I would rather my centre-backs to have the ball, pass it around, and pass it on to the next phase, which is Odegaard, Partey, Rice, and Kai Havertz. So I think we need less mistakes in such a game. We need to be very solid, and we need a game. We need a team that is very composed. I'm sorry, Gabriel. I've got to drop you. I've got to drop him. He's full of mistakes. He needs to be playing against Luton Town, Sheffield United, Burnley, Leicester City, Olympiacos. He can play against those clubs, but against Manchester City, Mikel is eventually going to find it difficult to trust him in each and every game. So William Saliba, the Rolls Royce, in my opinion, at the heart of that centre-back pairing. Julian Timber, of course, comes into that team automatically. He's become an Arsenal starter. I've told you before we signed him that you don't expect him to be on the bench. He's better than Ben White. He's better than Gabriel. He's better than Kivio. He's better than so many of these players we have, like better than Tomiyasu, better than Cedric. He's going to start somewhere. And for me, I won't be surprised to see Gabriel out of the team for the long term with Timber and Saliba playing together, because Timber's got that ability to come into midfield, and that is going to be very, very helpful to the way we set up. So that is my centre-back pairing. I'm sorry. Okay, right back. I still think Benjamin White got a lot of criticism from Cossy and Cossy's Arsenal podcast for nothing. He was one of our best players last campaign, and I kind of feel like I was a mug. I was just criticizing him because he doesn't play there. I mean, who does that? But one thing I've loved with Ben White, it is his commitment in duels. Have you seen the way he throws himself into the line of fire? Have you seen the way he blocks the ball? Like, he just throws his body into the line of fire. I love that. I love that commitment. Now, there are times when it is, where he's susceptible to being humiliated, especially when he plays against players like Jack Grealish, players that have got that quality, elite wingers. But with Julian Timber on that right-hand side, coupling him with Ben White would actually give us a very, very solid base. So I would love to see Ben play on the right-hand side. My boy will be starting every single week. I'm really sure of that. At left back, Alexander Zinchenko, I don't think this game comes in time for him to be as competitive as we would love him to be. But even if he was as competitive as we want him to be, I don't think this is the game for Alexander Zinchenko. I'm sorry, this is not an Alexander Zinchenko game. I would have played Kieran Tierney here, but because we have Timber and White, I think it's better to play Kivio in this game. So I think Kivio would be much better because he's left-footed and he's more like a center back, right? So when Julian Timber drops into midfield or progresses into midfield, you would have a back three of Kivio, Saliba, and White. Saliba at the heart of the defense, Kivio on the left-hand side, and Ben White at the right-hand side. So, of course, that means that you're inverting with Julian Timber. Timber just drifts into midfield, right? And why I think Kivio is a much better player for this game than Kieran Tierney, by the way, is you need that center back. You need that kind of center back. So you will have realized, by the way, that I played 4 center backs in this game. I won't be surprised to see John Stones, Ruben Diaz, Manuel Akanji, and Nathan Ake against Arsenal. Those are 4 center backs still that Pep Guardiola will have played. Even if he plays Josko Gvardiol, those will be 5 center backs he has to choose from. Okay, so Kivio gives us that defensive ability. We're going to have to deal with Erling Haaland. So for me, Saliba should deal with Erling Haaland because he's better suited to deal with Erling Haaland. And then Jakub Kivio, Timber, and of course Ben White can deal with, Kevin De Bruyne and the runs of Jack Grealish and all these other players. So that is the back four I think Arsenal should go with. No messing around, no jokes. Okay. In midfield, pretty much confusing. So what you want to do, what you want to see in midfield is your best player, and that is Thomas Partey, isn't he? Partey is our best midfielder, a defensive midfield, 29 years of age, soon turning to 30, very experienced. Partey has every now and then shown signs of being better than Rodri, but it has been very, very inconsistent. So when we played Manchester City on the opening day of 2022, in that contest, Partey came out on top. He was brilliant. He was really brilliant. And that actually spoke to me. That actually sent a message to me that Partey is as good as long as you don't overplay him. So the signing of Declan Rice really makes a lot of sense. The signing of Declan Rice means that you can take a lot of pressure from Partey and you can play him in games where you actually need him. But I tell you what, this is the first game that Rice and Partey have got to play together. So the next midfielder in this team must be Declan Rice. Actually, we should be playing a 4-2-3-1, not a 4-3-3. So the next player in this midfield should be Declan Rice. I think, sorry about that. Okay, that's the lineup. I kind of feel like this is where we beat Manchester City. This is where we beat Manchester City. This is when we play that secret weapon, the double pivot, Rice and Partey, defensively astute, very good at passing, very good at holding possession, and both players are very, very experienced. If we don't beat Manchester City, if we don't dominate Manchester City, if we don't get the better of Manchester City with Rice and Partey in midfield, I don't know how we're going to do it. To be honest, I do not know how we're going to do it. Because Rice and Partey is the best you can have against Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, and Bernardo Silva. That is the best you can have to stop them. So for me, that is my midfield pivot. That should be the midfield pivot. Of course, to complete the midfield should be my boy Martin Odegaard. I would have played Fabio Vieira in this game, but I tell you what, Vieira has no role in this game. Like, he's got no role in this game whatsoever. So that is the midfield three that I would love to see against Manchester City. That is the midfield that I think can compete with Manchester City's crazy stuff. Because they do crazy stuff, don't they? Okay. In attack, right? In attack, I'm confused. Because I want Trossard in this game. I want Saka in this game. I want Martinelli in this game. And I want Eddie Nketiah in this game. So the first thing we're going to do here is to be very, very clear of where we stand on the striking position. Eddie Nketiah must play in this game. Eddie Nketiah must play in this game. And this is the reason. You cannot afford to have their centre-backs roaming around without any pressure. You can't afford to have their centre-backs free. You can't afford to have their centre-backs carelessly, jogging around. It is not acceptable. So Eddie, for that job, I'm not saying he will score. I'm not saying he will take the chances. I'm not saying he's the best striker we have. I'm saying he's got the ability to press them. He's got the ability to bring the best out of Ruben Diaz and probably John Stones or Manuel Akanji. He might not be as strong as Diaz, but he will force mistakes. He might not be as clever as Akanji, but he will force those mistakes. And he will provide us with a way of, getting into the final third, right? We will have to affect both boxes, like Mikel Arteta says. You have to affect your box, but you also have to affect your opponent's penalty area. So, okay. That is That is decided. Edin Ketia up top. We have two positions now. Saka, Martinelli, Trossard. Trossard has been our best player throughout preseason. So that, for that alone, he's got to start here. Not Saka, sorry. Trossard. So Trossard, I'll play Trossard on the left-hand side over Gabriel Martinelli. And this is the reason. Not because Gabriel Martinelli needs to be dropped. No. The science behind Martinelli is he can isolate fullbacks and he can beat them 1v1. The problem with this is that Pep Guardiola knows that, like it is in his notebook. Martinelli will isolate Kyle Walker. Can Martinelli really isolate Kyle Walker? No. He also knows that Saka will isolate Nathan Ake. Can Saka really isolate and beat Nathan Ake? No. So I think we need to change our tactics as we play Manchester City. It shouldn't be about the chronology. It should be about what actually works against a particular opponent. So Trossard for me works much better because he's got a lot in his game. Like he drifts into that central midfield position. He drifts into that center forward position, and he's got the ability to beat a player 1v1 if that's what Mikel Arteta wants. So, and he's experienced, and he's quick, and he's fast, and his link-up play is very good. Yeah, I would love to see him on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, I have a problem with Saka in against Man City. I don't have a problem with Saka in any other game. It is against Manchester City. But do I have any other option? No. Listen, if Reece Nelson was fit, I would play Reece Nelson over Saka. Because Reece Nelson is as unpredictable as Saka is predictable. You know, what makes Saka a very high-class winger is that you know what he's going to do. And he will do what he's going to do. And he will beat you at what he's going to do. That is what makes him special. What makes Reece Nelson a good guy and a good player is that he's very unscripted. So he's got that very good right foot, and then he's got that very good right foot. He's got that very, blistering pace, and he's got that ability to isolate a player and beat them 1v1. He's got that ability to turn inside and curl it. He has the ability to deliver very good crosses. But Saka is undroppable. Face of the project, he's the guy. That is my starting 11. Kivio and Timber to replace, of course, to replace Gabriel Magalhaes and Alexander Zinchenko. Declan Rice comes in for Granit Xhaka. The rest stays as the same in midfield. Gabriel Martinelli is replaced by Leandro Trossard. Edin Ketia replaces the injured Gabriel Jesus.